I'm going to give you a quick introduction into the XML tagging feature of Wordseer. Wordseer works by processing XML documents. And because XML documents come in all shapes and forms, we need to find a way to map the contents of the XML document into Wordseer and to identify the parts of the document that are really of interest to us. In this case, I'm going to use the Julius Caesar play from Shakespeare as an example. So I've uploaded the XML document. I click on Map Structure. This opens the tagger, and the first thing you see is an introduction that explains the different components of the interface. In general, there are two main types of nodes that we're interested in an XML document. Text nodes, which contain the actual text we want to analyze, and additional property nodes or dimensions or metadata that we can use to analyze the actual text or break it down. So in this case, in the case of this document, the main text element is the line. If you click on it, you can actually see a preview of what is that node, or what text is contained in that node. And this is actually the lines of the play. So I'm going to add this as a text node. You can process text nodes in two ways, either as they are broken down in the XML document, or you can combine multiple nodes into a single node. In the case of Shakespeare plays, each sentence is broken down into multiple lines, and I want to process them as one sentence, not as they're broken down. So I'm going to use the combine mode, which will combine multiple lines into one sentence, and I click Save. And now you see this is how my text will be broken down by sentence. Now I want to add additional properties to this text. First, I want to add a title to my play. So I click on Play, which is the root node, and I can choose a title from one of the child nodes. It can be any attribute child node there is, which are the light blue ones. In this case, I'm choosing the actual title, and I click Save. And now I can see that I can have the play title as one of the properties I assign to my text. Now, the Shakespeare play is broken down by act, scene, and speech. So I'm going to choose act. I add it as a property, and I save. You can see the value here is actually null because act has no text in it. It only has child elements. So I can assign it a title from one of its child elements. I click on act again, and I choose title as a title element, save, and now acts actually have act 1 as a value. Instead of having two values, one is act and one is title. I can combine them into one, and you can see that into the interface. I'll do the same thing with scene, and also with speech. In this case, I'm going to use speaker as a title element, and I can see that my document now is broken down by sentence or line, act, scene, speech. I will also add the stage direction as a property because it has no child elements. It's just added directly as a property, and I want to rename it. So I want Wordseer to show me stage direction as stage direction. And now this is how you will see your text in the table view in Wordseer. You can preview the actual output, but you don't really need to. This is how that mapping is saved inside the tool. When you finish, click Save and return, and you can use that structure file to process your XML document.